What's going on here, BSers? It's your boy Wyatt here again, and we're having another episode of With the BS. Today, we got a really important topic. If you can't tell by my shirt and Natalie's shirt, we're actually talking about Batman. Which one is the best Batman? We're going to talk about suits. We're going to talk about batmobiles. We're going to even talk about who's the better Bruce Wayne versus the better Batman. So today, we got a lot of people with us. You know, some familiar faces. Marcus, how you doing today, man?
Doing good, man. Can't complain at all. Happy to be here, man. Looking forward to the conversation we're about to have.
All right, that's what's up. And Nick, you doing all right today?
Good, man. I'm doing good. No complaints this way.
All right, and Natalie, so you ready to go at it?
Absolutely. I'm ready to get this discussion on the way.
All right, well, that's what's up. So before we get started, I want to go ahead and tell y'all to be like the Hulk and smash the subscribe, and we'll love you 3,000. So we're trying to strive for 5. That means that we're trying to go for 500 followers. And when we do, there's going to be some special surprises for those who rock with us when we were shooting in the gym. So just go ahead, follow with us and see what we can come up with. So we're going to talk about pretty much the movie Batman, with the exception of one other person, because I think they were so big in a lot of our lives, was Kevin Conroy also in that conversation, because even though he wasn't like in a suit, you know, everybody's voice, you already know when you hear his voice who that is. He's Batman. So first thing I want to talk about is who played a better like Bruce Wayne when it came to doing Batman. So Natalie, what do you think? Out of like, we'll even have Adam West in there for old school Batman. The pow, with the onomatopoeias, the kapow, bam.
Yeah, the actions on screen.
Yeah.
The 50 IPs ruin him.
With the shark repellent and stuff. Oh God.
Yeah, Adam West, you know, he's in a league by himself. You know, you kind of just leave him alone. Like he played a Batman. I can't really compare him to like the newer ones. Like he has to stand by himself. So as far as like a better Bruce Wayne, I would have to say Costner. Like to me, he stands out as being like the Bruce Wayne type, you know, like he had that demeanor about him. Like you could buy that he was that rich kid that had to grow up like an orphan and kind of find his way and all of that. So I think Costner was the better Bruce Wayne out of them.
You mean Keaton?
Keaton, there you go. Whatever.
All right, well, what about you, Marcus? Who you got?
The best Bruce Wayne. That's kind of hard. Like Keaton is like kind of a go-to. I think I'm gonna show a little credit to Clooney. He was okay as just Bruce Wayne for me, but I'm gonna have to give it to Keaton. Christian Bale. I wanted a little more from Christian Bale as his Bruce Wayne counterpart, but I'm gonna give it to Keaton for the original, man. Keaton did a great job.
All right, Nick, what you got?
I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Christian Bale. I'm gonna be cliche. Give it to Christian Bale. I mean, I admit it might be because he's in the Dark Knight, and it could be more so about the Dark Knight, but I'm gonna have to throw my vote to Christian.
So I'm gonna be kind of a little off the wall here. I'm gonna actually go with George Clooney. So like he had a really good like playboy kind of like, I have money, I'm about this rich life. That he had that part down, but then the problem was he carried that into Batman. Like, you know, I couldn't take his voice seriously because he was just like, I'm still this playboy. So like he was really good as a Bruce Wayne. Like, okay, I got money, I'm gonna spend it, I'm gonna do all this. He was great at that part. So to me, the best to kind of encompass like him playing that role was definitely, you know, Clooney.
Did nobody like Ben Affleck?
His was like
that's my second favorite Batman.
He was a second for me because like. But what were you saying, Natalie?
Oh, Affleck was pretty good. And especially in what was that?
Which one you like?
Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. He played that part. Yeah. He played it well.
I think he brought that cockiness to Batman, that seriousness to Batman, and that, you know, it felt like, you know, Bruce Wayne, in my opinion. It really did. It felt like Bruce Wayne.
Like, because go ahead, Mark.
I was gonna say, I like Ben Affleck. I wish he would have did the movie, man. That's one thing I think that kind of holds him back. Don't get me wrong, he was, you know, he had major parts in the movies he played in, but I wanted him to see him in a solo movie himself doing work as Batman. And that's the only thing we didn't get, and I really hate that.
Yeah, I think his portrayal of Bruce Wayne was a little bit different because of the fact that he was the older Bruce Wayne. So he wasn't like Playboy no more. He was just like, you know, grumpy old man. And like I have a little bit of class, and like I can still talk to you really nicely. However, like I'm done being kind of really, you know, how certain old people, they just lose their whole like, oh, I'm gonna be nice to you kind of point. Like that's how he was. So I thought that was really, really cool though. So the next thing, and like I said, we're gonna include Batman the animated series. Who had the best Batmobile?
Oh, I know, hands down. My vote going into this was Terry McGinnis on Batman Beyond. Hands down, because Terry McGinnis did not have a Batmobile. That was a flying saucer, basically, like land and water. That thing could go in the water as well, and it could turn invisible, and it had weapons, and it had all the things that the Batmobile could do. I think that was the coldest thing Batman had.
All right, I'm gonna go next. Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead, Mark.
I was gonna say, I like that. I love. It wasn't the traditional Batmobile, but it was his big, and it was dope. Just cause I like big body, rough and tough, run over stuff all day truck. Like I love truck, but my favorite Batmobile was the Christian Bale Batmobile. Mm-hmm. Like the iconic. Yes, if I could buy one of them right now, I would. Like I would ride that thing everywhere. Like, and then the fact when he got tore up and it turned into a little motion, give me that. Let me go and get one of them. But yeah, that's my favorite Batman. Yeah, I feel that.
All right, Natalie, what's up?
So yeah, I was with Marcus on that. Like the Batmobile in that the first Batman with Christian Bale, that was I like the design of it, the functionality of it, everything. So I think that was probably about my favorite one.
Man, I guess I'm being difficult today because like my favorite one was the Michael Keaton one, like the one that looked like it had a jet engine and then it used to shoot the fire back. And then I remember on Batman Returns where he used to flip the button and then it went from like being this big to being like this big so he could get through the little cracks and crevices. And then he had the little armor too that like he had like the car armor, so he just click a button and then after that it just, you know, do stuff. So I mean that was my favorite one just because like, I mean I guess it's because it's so old school and like that's the first one I remember before the animated series. It was like that Batmobile, and then yeah, that was my favorite one from there.
That was a dope one. I still remember that one as well. I remember, like I said, I think it was Batman Red. It may have been Batman. I can't remember if it was the first one or second, but it was like he got out of it, he hit the button, like I said, the armor came up, it just had it covered itself with armor so nobody could get into it or do anything with it or whatever. But that was a dope one. That's a top one as well.
I just want to talk about one other thing, and it's completely off the subject. But can we talk about on the first Batman how he killed a whole lot of people in that little factory part where he just was dropping bombs and stuff like that? Do y'all remember that part? Where he was like, so essentially he found out where the Joker was making all these like little toxins and the Joker stuff. He went into it, blew up everything. Like there was people inside, and like I was like, well, wait a second, Batman don't kill. He definitely was in his Batmobile, dropping bombs from the Batmobile, shooting people, running things over. Like he blew up the whole factory, and there you didn't see nobody running out. So
which one is this?
The first one.
It's the first one. The Michael Keaton. I gotta go back and watch that. I ain't seen it in so long.
Yeah, man.
He killed. I'm telling you, there was at least because like at first he went into there and then like all his goons and henchmen were like firing on and that's where he had the armor at. So then he was there firing on it, and then nothing happened. They were reloading and they just stopped. And he's like, there was like a little ball that came out. And it was like, and then boom, blew up everything. And then he drove off after that. I was like, so we killing folks now, Batman? That's what we're doing? So I just, I brought up the Batmobile, and that automatically comes to mind because with the director, with Tim Burton, he always took a little bit more. He was extra before it was cool to be extra. So like those movies was pushing almost like if they had one F-bomb, I'm telling you that would have been a rated R movie. So.
No curse.
Yeah, so the other thing that I want to ask about was like the bat suit. So it's a two-part question. So who had the best suit? Who had the worst suit?
Who had the worst?
I'm trying to think.
So for me, worst would have to go to like, I mean, you gotta say Adam West, like that.
Oh dang!
It don't get any worse than that. Like, I mean, they painted his eyebrows on the mask. Like, you can't get any worse than that.
So he's not gonna get like a little bit of love just because like
no.
he didn't have the muscle suit. That was all Adam West, as he said in the Big Bang Theory.
And that wasn't Batman.
That's all Adam West.
We don't need that by Batman. We need Batman.
He had a cloth suit. He had a cloth suit.
Exactly. So yeah, he has to have the worst. Man. I don't know. Like I'm kind of having a hard choice between like Val Kilmer because his was all like shiny. Like he was like chromed out looking type Batman. And then I really like Affleck.
Batman, his best.
It looked more like it was more rugged, like it was more padded, whatever, because I guess maybe he was older, so it wasn't like he had more stuff to like take the impact from hits or stuff. So his and like Val Kilmer is probably because Val Kilmer looks like an action figure. It's already shiny and chromed out and everything. So those probably about the top two.
Okay, I'm gonna lean somewhere like I gotta give Ben Affleck his. I like his, and not Val's, but George Clooney. Not his first, the second suit. Like when they were getting ready to, I think the final battle when they got in, and they had like the silver pieces or whatever. Whatever. That suit, I love that suit, and I love, like I said, Ben Affleck. Those probably my top ones that I have to say I really love. And as far as the one I don't like. It's hard to pick, so I'm just like I'm gonna have to agree with Nat and say say Adam West. That was a cloth suit, man. I just can't like he had a cloth suit and some isotopes gloves. That's basically what he had. Isotoners, like that's what he had. But
it was the 60s, man. You gotta give him
It was. I'm just.
They didn't have all that
If we
stuff
just, I ain't gonna say that's the worst, but that's just my least favorite. That's like he put the costume on. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and go leave it at that.
All right, Nick, who you got, man?
I think it's unanimous. Adam West is the worst by far. I can't show him no love. I'm sorry, Stokes, man. That's terrible, man. That is absolute trash when it comes to any other suit. But I think my favorite suit would have to be, and I'm gonna go kind of comic with this. In the comics, when Batman got a little older, I don't know if y'all remember, the Justice League built him that special suit. You remember that? It was the Hellbat suit, and that suit was made so that he could fight people like Superman, Darkseid, people like that, and it was so incredibly overpowered. But the thing about it was, the drawback to it was, why he couldn't use it often, was that it drained his life. So features of that suit was that it could shed and deploy, like the helmet, the gloves, things like that, so he could add on more time to fight in it. But it was incredibly overpowered. He could cloak. It was made out of nanotechnology, so it could actually like liquefy, things like that, regenerate, turn into bats, all type of things, shoot energy beams. He was just incredibly overpowered. But like I said, he couldn't wear it for too long. But that'll probably be my favorite suit, and it looked very, very cool too. If y'all ever seen it, it was amazing. Like, pretty much magic.
I promise y'all, I'm not trying to be with the BS, pun intended, but I hated the Batman Forever and the Batman and Robin suits because they had bat nipples. Like I used to hate it because like they used to show it like bam.
Why did you remember that?
And then after that, they would put up the butt shot too. I was like, I'm not for this. I'm not for this suit. Like, no, dude, that is way worse. That is way worse than Adam West. Like Adam West, he didn't have nothing. I give him props because he made it in the '60s. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like
what if they was going for like the Gladiator thing? Gladiator had like, they had the nipples on the breastplate. Batman's the warrior.
The fact that they had that, and then the way that they did it for both, not only Batman Forever, but Batman and Robin. I was like, bruh, I don't need to see this. I'm here for the smoke. I don't need to see nipples. I don't need to see a grown man wiggle into his tights. None of that. Like, cause they was like boom, boom.
I remember them. They showed the cut. They put the suit on, made a little noise. Boom, boom.
Like it was supposed to be funny. Like it was supposed to be like dramatic. That a man's jumping in his own pants. Like if the pants that tight, you need to get other pants. That's what my mama always told me. If it's that tight, you just need to go ahead and get that next size up. So
he need aerodynamics, man. He need to, when he's swooshing and diving. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, fair.
No.
So that was to me, those were the worst suits. I'm a fan of the Michael Keaton ones, like the ones, because those were my childhood. Like, I don't know if anybody else played like the Arkham Knight games where you could be able to switch the skins and everything like that. I was straight 1989 for like all of that. Once I got that skin, I was like, Batman. That's my Batman right there. So,
Was that the gray suit?
It was the black suit, the black one with the with the one that he just had from there, man. That was the one for me, because that Batmobile was dope. Like, because they said it was supposed to be a jet engine that went from the whole length of the car. I was like, you can't really beat that, except for Batman Beyond, of course. You know what I mean? Because can't nobody beat flying, So, but But that was my one thing, man. Like I thought it was really cool to have that going on where, you know, say for instance you have a dude that's just, and he got shot in that suit a couple of times, and I was like, oh, okay, it's cool. He could get shot in that one. I didn't like the other suits, so that was just me.
Speaking of that suit, just a little trivia knowledge. Did you know the shoes he was wearing was Jordan 6s?
I didn't know that.
Suit, they actually did some custom. They were custom Jordan 6s for like that's the shoes he was wearing in that suit. Like,
why don't we know this? You'll go crazy.
I found that out maybe I think a year or so ago. Just by reading, weird stuff, and my brain I retain like useless weird knowledge, like stuff like that. But yeah, it was I was like, wow, really? Like, and you can go Google it and you show you a picture of the shoe or whatever he wearing. But yeah, he had custom Jordan 6s.
Check that out.
Man. So I got one beat for you. So I remember, you remember Disney Adventures? You know, the little magazine that they had wasn't even So there was a Disney Adventures that was talking about how the preparation went for Batman, and they said that it took like 8 hours for him to get in the suit. And then like the thing was he couldn't move his head
he couldn't move his head at all.
This was it.
Yeah, he had stiff it.
This was it. Like peripherals, that was it. So that was the one thing, and that's why they said Michael Keaton didn't want to do it anymore, because half the time it was just getting him in the suit, and then after that because it took so long to get him in the suit, he have like 12 to 20 hour days to just be in there, just to, you know, and that's it. And like he said, it was just mad uncomfortable. So so that was the one thing that I was like, respect. But I think Val Kilmer, like nobody's ever mentioned his Batman, because like his was just like, meh, like it's forgettable.
Yeah, I agree. But and now that you're thinking about it, if you go just playing part of that movie from the originals in my head, whenever he turned, he was like this, like you.
He turned the whole body. He turned.
You had to turn everything. So the bad guy was sneaking up behind him. Hold on,
man.
No, that was why he did, you know, the part that was on the original trailer where he did this move, because he couldn't turn around, so he just had to do that one. So that was a really funny part, man. Like and like shout out to Papa Stokes, because he got me all the little toys. Like I'm talking about, I had ninja, samurai, Batman, all you know, because they had every variation of Batman when it came out. It was that and Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles was another one where they had variations of every toy. And Papa Stokes got them for me and my little brother, and we was all in that thing. So, but yeah, that was one of the things that, like, I had the Batmobile, and that's why I probably am kind of a little partial to the one that I had, because that mine shot out and everything, so it was dope. So, big question here: who had the best Batman? And we can talk about action scenes, everything like that.
So basically going to who was the best Batman for us, right?
Yeah, just the Batman part. You know, just
the
when
Batman.
It came to kick assery, what part was best?
For me, I'm gonna it's probably I'm gonna give it a close. I'm gonna give it 2. I'm gonna go with Ben Affleck, and I'm gonna actually go with Christian Bale. Cause like if you go back to some of those scenes where he just going through a room and just tearing folks up, like as a bat, like he was he was giving hands to feet, like he was giving them everything. I'm gonna go with them 2. For me, them my top 2. I have to give it. Just watching and going back, just replaying stuff in my head. I'm gonna say Christian Bale and Ben Affleck. Did a great. Who I'm gonna have to choose? I can't pick one. So, but yeah.
Okay.
And this is acting.
Acting or just the action parts, like who you thought was better at playing their Batman. Go ahead, Nat.
Okay. I agree with Marcus. Like Christian Bale, you know, he definitely has other action movies he's been in. So to me, he pulled off his action role very well. I just don't like the voice, how he does that part for Batman. Like that's just
his voice terrible.
Yeah, the voice takes me out of it takes it into like something that's not realistic. So like the action's good. But I can't put him at the top.
Do your best impersonation of him.
I got you, bro.
Do it.
Where's Rachel?
I was just about to say it.
Bro.
Hit you with Rachel, you gotta get out of here. You gotta get out of here, Rachel. Run away.
Don't swear to God, swear to me. Like, I was like, bro, what is this? Just
he's trying to like he want to cough so bad. Like,
man.
I know this was horse.
Like Batman, stop talking to me. Like, you disgusting me, Batman.
Oh God,
just hit me in the face, man. Don't talk to me.
Right.
Don't do that no more.
Stop, Batman. It's like you can see like his tongue. I don't like it.
I feel like he's when he talks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like you be
that's
like,
all wetter than the chin.
Okay.
Right.
None of that. That's why I'd have been like, nah, bro, don't do that to me.
No, it's bad. It gets worse by the third movie. So
yes.
I don't know why somebody didn't tell him like just stop. Like,
you know what it was? He had been doing it for so long. They was like,
you gotta go. You gotta keep it.
You gotta keep going. Like
they gonna buy it anyway, bro.
Like somebody mispronounce your name after so long. If you don't correct them, you just start answering to it. Like instead of calling you Natty, they'll call you Jamie or something. They didn't call you that for so long. It's too late to correct them. So you just like, yeah, how can I help you? Like what you like?
It's like somebody, your name is Aaron and they call you AA Ron.
Exactly.
Oh
man.
Yeah.
So who else gotta go? That was fun.
I think for me, probably have to be Ben Affleck. I think he had a lot of really, really good action scenes. Christian Bale did too. He really did. But I really like Ben Affleck's action scenes. I really do. His fight scenes. I feel like he had a lot more fight scenes than Christian Bale because, you know, The Dark Knight, Batman Begins, you know, The Dark Knight Returns. It's action, but it's more so plot based. You know what I'm saying? It's plot based for sure. But with Zack Snyder, he just brought Ben Affleck, like you said, to just come kick ass, man. You know, he recruit a little bit. You know, you see him talk a little bit for the most part. You see Ben Affleck fighting and doing stuff constantly in all the movies. He talk a little bit, but for the most part, you know what I'm saying? He is something. Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely got to go with Ben Affleck too, because he like that fight in Batman versus Superman, where he was like he just dealt with these henchmen, like in
the factory. Oh my god,
bruh, he killed. Like
did he kill him with the bomb? Did he kill him?
If he killed him or he didn't, it don't even matter. The fact that there was one dude, he face planted, so his body was like this. And I was like, oh God, like he smashed his head in there, and like he took some L's, like he took some like knife shots and stuff like that, and still kept going. So like that was the one thing that put him above everybody else. I'm gonna give you a hot take real quick. I don't think the Dark Knight series was all that great. I think Wait a second.
Oh,
wait a second. Wait a second.
God.
Wait a second. Let me get.
I do not.
All right.
I can't believe it.
Okay. All right. Let's go. So hold on.
I cannot believe it.
So the first one was okay, and it was like an intro story. I'm all right with that. The second one, and I love
The Dark Knight.
I love Heath Ledger, but if he hadn't passed, he would have been an okay Joker. It would have been another take on Joker, and it would have been okay. But the reason fact that he passed and he was so enveloped as an actor in that series was why it got so hyped. Because I know there was people that was going to go see the movie like 6 or 7 times. There was a frat brother of mine that went to see it like 9 times. And it was just because Heath Ledger died and they wanted to make sure that movie got the highest grossing, Batman or highest grossing comic book movie. So Bane's voice was just ridiculous. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Bane, you know who he sounded like? He sounded like Beaker from the Muppets. If I'm gonna go there, if I'm gonna be about the BS, I'm gonna go all the way with the BS. So he sounded like Beaker from the Muppets. I cannot
believe these folks. I cannot believe you.
I was there when it came out, and I was working there. I was like,
man, I was too. I know, because we was together. But do you remember how happy I had never? Look, let me tell y'all something. Oh, I had never in my life, besides maybe Endgame, seen so many people that happy leaving a movie theater. I have never seen it. I'm talking about they were screaming. They was happy. They was like, I cannot believe what I just saw. I gotta go see it again. Like, that might have been, bruh, that's probably one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. I'm sorry. I cannot believe you said, I cannot believe you stole.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Why?
Because the only thing, like, there were so many plot holes that went with it. Like, one of the things that I was looking at, and I'm gonna be honest, I was talking to Natalie about it. Nat has said something about how the fact that, like, nobody kind of fact checked the fact that the scientist came here and he was like, these folks are not my friends. Like, you gonna let somebody just walk on a plane and just let you just go ahead and blow up, you know what I mean? Like, that whole thing. And the fact that, like, I don't know, I just didn't like the fact, like, I understand that Bane is supposed to definitely, break Batman's back. But there was no mention of Venom. And there was no mention of, like, and that's the part that's supposed to get him over. You know what I'm saying? That's the part that's supposed to be like, oh, this man is doped up. It was none of it. Batman just got whooped. And here's the other part. So if Batman stopped working after he killed Harvey Dent, why all of a sudden is he needing a cane? Think about it.
You said if he stopped working, what?
He stopped being Batman after Harvey Dent died, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how they said it in the movie. Why all?
Well, we don't know for how long. We don't know we don't know. Like, did he stop immediately when he left that scene, or did he leave, do a little bit, and then stop?
How smart is it that, like, you now have the whole city gunning for you, and you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stop these petty criminals. They're robbing an ATM. I'm gonna go ahead and beat them up. And the fact that this is my other problem with Batman. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I think Batman has white privilege. So like he definitely, like, if he used his billions of dollars, because he was a billionaire in the 90s, so that means that he damn near should be a trillionaire, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So he could have fixed the city with his own money rather than being able to just go ahead and beat up petty criminals.
I mean, they weren't all petty,
but like the ones that he gets up to, like the main ones, he's beating up on. So you can't be like, oh, okay.
I mean, what
Like,
you gonna do if you Batman and you just chilling, right? Let's just set the scene. You cool night and you just happen to see somebody beating up on grandma, trying to take her purse. I mean, you gonna put a little action down, you know what I'm saying? It ain't above you, you know. He probably just be chilling and he see it and it's like, why not?
so you gonna tell me? Hold on. You gonna tell me
Why?
that you got enough time now to go ahead, switch into your bat suit, get the Batmobile there.
He already be in the suit. He be patrolling, you know, because you know Alfred. Let's think about it. Alfred used to always be like, you know, sir, you know, you back. You know, I see you. See you been gone for a while. What you been doing? He'd be like patrolling. You know, he already be in the suit. Stokes. I feel like if you was Batman and you saw a helpless old grandma, you would help her.
Of course, but I would also empower the people in charge to be able to make sure that helpless grandma don't get jumped when I'm not around. Because you just stopping one grandma from getting jumped up. There's about 73 grandmas that are getting mollywopped right now that I don't see.
Terrible grandma statistics. Terrible.
Grandma, this is on Mother's Day. Grandma got a knot on her head right now. She got a knot right here because somebody took her purse and her brand new iPhone 12 that she don't know how to work. I'm sorry.
I mean, I respect your opinion, man, and it's I look at it because I with what they did with the Dark Knight Trilogy and everything. I think that what's the guy's name? The director who directed all of them.
Christian Nolan.
Yeah, Chris Nolan. He did it. His take. I mean, for me personally, I think it's awesome. Like the whole trilogy. Like I do. Like I said, it had some drawback. Like I said, the voice of Batman, his Batman voice. I like kind of like what they did with. I like what they tried to do with Bane. Like I said, I did miss them having him having like the Venom. You know, they put him over the top of the stuff that gave him the edge of being strong or being able to defeat Batman. I did like how they portrayed Bane as smart, you know, as something as intelligent, because in Bane in the comics is not only is he immensely strong and he has Venom, but he's also intelligent. You know, like
yes,
exactly not like the Bane you got from the Batman and Robin movie, who just hit the button and basically like Frankenstein, like the Frankenstein monster. You know, so
real quick fun fact. Did you know that was Kevin Nash that was Bane?
Yes, I remember that. Wow. I found that out probably like a year ago.
And he was the super juiced up Shredder and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles too.
Didn't know that, but I didn't know he was Bane.
I'm a wrestling buff too, so like all that just kind of goes in together.
I understand. I'm for wrestling. We'll get into that later.
We'll go ahead. We'll talk about it.
But yeah, like I like I said, I respect it, and I understand. Like, you know, people don't. I've gone to comic book stores. Like a guy I had a conversation with, who was getting ready to release one of the newer movies with they had Jared Leto as Joker. Like, me and the guy had a conversation about that, because like I feel like Heath Ledger did an amazing job as a Joker. And he was saying something about he liked Jared Leto's version, or Jared Leto's take over Heath Ledger's. I'm like, okay, you know, I mean, it's just on, you know, everybody has their own opinion, so you know, that's I didn't like, as far as his take or his approach. I didn't like all the extraness, the teeth and all that. Like, I love the Joker. Joker is one of my favorite villains of all time, and just how they portrayed him or how they did him in Jared Leto's take. I just didn't like how he looked. That kind of his look threw me off. But just get back on the Dark Knight Trilogy. Like I said, I loved it, man. I watch it to this day. Like that's the Christopher Nolan's take on Batman was just amazing to me. But like I said,
I'm about to go watch it tonight for Stoves. I'm watching it tonight as soon as we get done.
Man, your feelings gonna be hurt if you look at it critically. Like that's my thing. Like I think of it as like I like the fact with the Joker movie, like with the Joker one, because honestly, if you look at it, it's more about the villains than about Batman. And so, and like,
it is.
If you look at it that way, like I understand where the Joker was coming from, and Heath Ledger's like one, and hands down, I think one of the highlights of that one was when he said he had a magic trick and he had the pencil in the deck.
Man.
Oh, like I clapped on that one. I was like, all right. So those are the things that I do like. I don't want to take away too much from that performance of Heath Ledger, but in the same instance, I don't think that it would have got the same acclaim that it got beforehand if he had that.
I can understand it.
So like that's the part that I just like. I think some people just need to be realistic about it. I'm not here to stir it, but you know that's just my
just a little bit
with the BS.
It's a little bit of
stir. No, like I got the big spoon. I got the big wooden spoon. I'm just, but yeah, man. Like I think that was, and honestly, so in the same time, like when I looked at the Jared Leto's Joker, I kind of understood where they were trying to go with it. You know what I mean? Where they were trying to be able to, but I don't think they gave him enough time to really flesh out the character because he was more of a prop than anything else. But like I think with Jared Leto's one, he's supposed to be that person that's supposed to be flashy and like crazy and still kind of conniving at the same time. But they never gave him a chance to really be able to work it all out.
I agree. Like I said, I didn't just coming from looking at from just Joker overall. Like the Joker wasn't that. Like he was down to great chaos and down to the mess of people and all that other stuff. But the Joker wasn't really flashy. And that's why I say it's like his take. I see what they were trying to do is just. Now I will say this. For at the end of the end credit scene or the credit end of Justice League, the Zack Snyder cut, like that Jared Leto, that part where that little snippet of him in that part where he was Joker, I like what they were doing with that. I like that. I like where they were going with that.
So, all right. So, off the cuff question: who had the best villains? So you got Michael Keaton, who had Danny DeVito as the Penguin, Michelle Pfeiffer as kind of like a villain as Catwoman, and then Jack Nicholson as the Joker. You got to even look at Val Kilmer, because Val Kilmer had the Riddler with Jim Carrey, which I thought maybe the sleeper out of all of it. And then Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, and then like of course you got the whole Dark Knight series where you got Liam Neeson,
Ra's al Ghul.
Man, that honestly put him on the map. If you look at that, like he wasn't doing no takers before then, but then all of a sudden, old dude, he got old man strike. So like you had that, you had Heath Ledger and Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy, you can say that like he got to another level when he actually did Bane from that one, because that was pretty good. But and also Batman the Animated Series where you had Mark Hamill playing the voice of the Joker.
Yeah.
and all the villains that he had on that one with Mr. Freeze, all the rest of it.
For me, you said which Batman had the best villains, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to go against the original, like said, like once again, Jack Nicholson's portrayal of the Joker is still legendary. That opening, not open line, but once he gets the surgery, like where did they get a load of meat and just like. But I'm gonna actually give it to the Dark Knight series. Like I said, you get they actually went down a different way. Like I said, you get Ra's al Ghul, as his first villain, Ra's al Ghul. Then, like I said, the betrayal of Bane. Like I said, you actually got intelligent Bane on screen. And like I said, I'm still going Heath Ledger's Joker, so I'm gonna give it to Christian Bale, the Dark Knight Trilogy. As for me, had some of the best villains as far as portrayal. But yeah.
All right, Nick, what you got? Because you looking deep in thought on that.
Oh no, I agree. Christian Bale, Dark Knight series got the best villains, and they even kind of introduced Two-Face, kind of in a weird way. They didn't necessarily paint him as a straight up villain. But I mean, we know Two-Face as being a villain, and they even showed us Catwoman as well, who was, in the animated series kind of portrayed as a villain. But even in that, she kind of played the fits. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, Ra's al Ghul as well. We saw a lot. We saw a lot in the Dark Knight series. So I got to give it to that.
All right, now what you got?
I agree. Wasn't Scarecrow in the first one? In the Dark Knight?
Scarecrow was in it. Yes, I forgot about them.
Oh
yes.
Man, I'm sorry.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. And he was in the second one.
He was
in the third one as well.
He was.
He was.
I think his portrayal
because he busted down on the van. That's
Mm-hmm. Yes. He was good, and I think Bane was probably like my favorite. I like that, the whole character of that, how they portrayed him.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked it. I gotta give it to that series.
So yeah, so even though I don't like the Nolan one, like they had so many characters, and the fact that they were so like Chris Nolan always has it where they have in-depth stories and they have motivations behind them. Like I was thinking about like Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey's Riddler was really, really good though.
Yeah,
like
it was.
I love that one. I heard that Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones never really got along, which you could kind of tell, and which actually helped out the story because Jim Carrey was doing all his craziness, and Tommy Lee Jones is like one of those actors that's non like he doesn't do the BS. So that was one of the things. So, but I gotta give it Nolan. Nolan develops characters. Like even though there may be certain things that I don't necessarily like, but you gotta respect the fact that the Joker had multiple stories about how he got his scars. The fact that Bane had a really in-depth story, and even Talia had a really good in-depth story. Like I can't not, say that it was a good story. So that was it. So just to clear it up and kind of close this out, who do y'all like as the best overall Batman?
Terry McGinnis, Batman Beyond, my final answer. My final answer. Terry McGinnis. Fun fact, Terry McGinnis is actually Bruce Wayne's clone son. A lot of people don't know that. It's Bruce Wayne's clone son. That's why he had dark hair and his parents had red hair. and he was so strong and athletic and stuff like that. Wound up being the son, quote unquote.
So in the stories, also in the comics, they had it where essentially he was. They even incorporated the fact that Damon Wayans there, so they made it so that now Damon Wayans in one story actually trained Terry McGinnis. So he trained essentially his brother to be the other Batman after. Exactly. So it was Bruce, then Damon, then Terry.
Yep.
So.
All right, Marcus, what you got, man?
All right, so, and we're encompassing everything from the Bruce Wayne to Batman. It's I'm gonna go. I want to say I don't say I would say Batfleck, but I want to say Ben Affleck, but I'm actually going with Christian Bale. Like I said, you had the little stuff, but overall, man, his portrayal of Batman through those 3 movies, the stuff he went through as far as just when he first came back, and Batman began, going, learning, and then you get to the end, the fight with Bane and recovering from broken back, stuff like that. But yeah, I'm gonna go with that one. I'm gonna go with Christian Bale.
All right, Christian Bale. All right, Nat. So who you got?
I go with Affleck. Like, for me, his age, the look, the way they can put him in the story and what he can do as far as the action scenes, overall, I think he's in the right place to carry Batman. Like, I think Marcus mentioned this earlier, that he won't have a full like Batman movie of his own. I think he would have really shined as Batman. Like, overall, I think he has all those parts to really be good. He could have been, better than Keaton.
I agree with that. I'm just comment on what Nat's saying. Like, if they would have given, or if he would have had a single movie or solo movie, I think they would have put him over the top. Like, for me, but yeah.
So I'm not punishing him because he didn't have a movie on his own, but I can't go against my childhood, man. So like Michael Keaton all day, like the Batmobile, if you ever watch Batman Returns now, it is not a children's movie at all. Like Penguin talks about trying to smash Catwoman. Like it is ridiculous. Like he's like, hey, I got a little flipper trick. And, I was like, wait a second. Like I was watching this, because I had the tape, so I wore that tape out, and I caught none of this as a child. But the fact that like they had really strong villains and things like that, because they talked about corporate greed in what's the face, Batman Returns. They talked about because it was what's his face, Maximilian, whatever. Yeah, Chris Walker. So, and it was dark too. They were trying to take kids and stuff. They were trying to kidnap kids. So and they had what is it? They did something to the Penguins, where the Penguins was trying to blow up the city. Like that was crazy. Like I was like, Happy Feet is trying to blow up Gotham? I don't understand. So yeah, I like that one, partially because it's my childhood, but partially because Batman was with the BS. He did not care. Like he blew up Joker's people. Although I do want to say, in the first Batman got them hands from whoever that black guy was upstairs on the clock tower. If you check it out, Batman was getting pieced up, and it was ridiculous. So, yeah, because the only thing he had to do.
Shout out to that black man, whoever you are out there. If it wasn't for him trying to look Shout out to you, brother.
Yeah, he would have had Batman because he was piecing him up. So that's where privilege does not get you. Wherever your hands,
Batman said, Batman said, "Oh, I'm gonna put some crack on you, brother. Oh, I'm gonna put you going down for this."
Man, he threw his ass off a bell tower, because he was eating him up so bad. It was crazy. So it closes. If y'all haven't seen any of these Batman movies, or if it's been a while since you've seen them, check them out, man. Like they're on HBO Max. They're at, you know, wherever you like to watch videos at. So check them out, because those are really, really good movies, and they kind of bring you back to your childhood. At least they did for me. So yeah, and then after that, you can be able to join in the conversation, have these conversations with us in the comments below. And like we said before, go ahead and follow us, because for those who follow us and for those who share with us and who have made it to this point in the video, there's something nice for you if you do that. You know what I'm saying? So just join the BS. Don't be about the BS. Just join. So check us out. I'm gonna go ahead and shut us off here. But once again, we really appreciate y'all listening to us, and y'all be easy and join the BS. All right.